Okay, well, another really warm welcome to Demo Day 15. We're really excited to have you here. My name is Josh. I'm a principal in our consulting team at faculty. And before I joined faculty, I was actually the director of data science for Red Bull, and I was based in California. And a pretty good question to ask someone who just moved back from California when it's a horrible freezing day in November would be, what the hell are you thinking? And one of the main reasons I actually moved back is to come and work for this amazing company. And one of the things that really makes faculty amazing is this mission that we have. So faculty's mission is to make AI real. And we passionately believe in taking AI out of the lab and putting it to work to enhance products, to improve services, and to change lives. And we do that with our clients in a number of ways. We help them with targeted focus on that, build their AI strategies. We develop AI and machine learning software. And as a great example of which, today we have the fellowship, we help develop the new, latest and greatest in AI skills. We've done this across hundreds of projects, across dozens of different sectors and dozens of countries. But you're sat here at Faculty Demo Day, and you may even have seen our website, so this might not be new news to you. So what I wanted to do today was talk about 3 things that you might not know. And so 3 updates on things that faculty has been working on over the last few months. Now, the first one is something that I'm hugely excited to announce, because I get to give you the scoop on this. It was literally announced this morning, and that is that Professor Stuart Russell is going to be our special advisor on AI safety. Now, Professor Russell is the professor of computer science at UC Berkeley. He published the textbook with Peter Norvig that is absolutely seminal, called AI: A Modern Approach. It's used at thousands of universities across hundreds of countries. And in his role as an advisor, Professor Russell will be working with our safety research and development team to ensure that we're fusing the latest in AI safety research with commercial applications to really do something which we believe is critically important, which is to make AI safe. Really exciting and, like I said, hot off the press. On that subject of AI safety, I want to talk a bit about some of the research that we've been publishing recently. And firstly, I want to say it's really cool to work at a company that has an AI research team. It really kills at the hipster coffee bars. But secondly, I think it's great that faculty has really shown its commitment to AI safety by investing the time and experience in building out a research team who is really focused on working on this critical, really important topic. When we think of AI safety, we think of these 4 key things, right? So we think about making sure that our models are fair. And we've seen examples really recently of models that are biased in the healthcare industry in terms of suggesting or recommending healthcare outcomes for black and ethnic minority people versus white. That's really difficult, and we need to make sure that we're addressing that in the way we develop our models. We think about making sure that our models are able to handle data in a private way. And this is really critical if we're building machine learning models on sensitive data like medical records, that those models don't leak data, that they can't be attacked to reveal the training data that was used to create them. Really importantly, these models need to be robust. So robust means when we take our models and we put them into the real world, that's where we want to use them, that they're not subject to attacks. A good example of this recently is researchers found that you could put small stickers onto traffic signs to fool self-driving cars into thinking that the speed limit was different to the one that was actually posted. And there's going to be a fellowship talk later on about robustness that Tobias is going to give, which is awesome, so hold tight for more on robustness. And finally, explainability, which is all about making sure that we can explain what black box models are doing. And it's explainability that I want to talk a bit more about in terms of the research team's efforts most recently. Now, explainability is all about providing explanations for black box model predictions. Okay, so think we're building really complex models, they perform well, but they're increasingly difficult to understand what they're doing. And so explainability and explainable AI is the process of providing explanations of those models and their predictions. And we think that's critically important in a world where more and more of the decisions that we take are made by models. And we found at faculty there's actually a huge number of use cases for building explainable processes into your AI workflows. Now, I don't have time to go through all of the ways that AI explainability can be valuable to you, but I definitely have time to plug my latest blog post on exactly that subject, which, if you're interested in reading it, covers the business case for explainability. So check it out on faculty.ai/blog. If you're familiar with explainability, you may know there's some open source tools and libraries that do this for you already. And you may also know there's some pretty big limitations with them. And our research team has been focusing on addressing those most heavily. And one big one is that these things often take ages to run. And things that take the age of the universe to run are not usable in the real world. They might work great as a one-off proof of concept, but we can't put them to work. And remember, we're here to make AI real. And so one key area of focus for our research team has been improving the performance of these tools to enable them to be used at scale so that they run in minutes, not millennia. We've been working on improving the interpretability of the explanations. Think about an image classification model where your features are pixels of an image. How do you explain that? Well, we've been working to provide human interpretable explanations. So instead of providing a set of pixels, we can provide you with something that makes sense to a person. A lot of explainability tools have a big limitation in that they feed fictitious, sometimes nonsensical data into your model to provide and build those explanations. That's a big problem if you're using those explanations to try and build trust in your model. How can you trust explanations which are built on nonsense data? So we've been working hard on developing explanation tools that are built on real-world data. So your explanations are trustworthy, and they can be used to make your models trustworthy. And the final thing is causality. Most open source and available explainability tools don't incorporate causal features, and we just literally published a couple of weeks ago some methods and approaches for incorporating just that, causality into explainability, and we've been using that with our clients for some really, really hard, multidimensional problems that are close to my heart, such as marketing attribution. So if that sounds like something of interest, come and speak to myself or Ilya later on. So like I said, these are all active areas of research that we're publishing papers about. If you want to know more about that, faculty.ai/research is the place to learn more. The final thing that I'd like to talk about, the final one of our updates, is on Faculty Platform. Now, you may not be familiar with it, but Faculty Platform is our workbench environment for supporting data scientists and the workflow that they use to build data science models. This hopefully looks somewhat familiar. This is, in a nutshell, the data science workflow. And we built Faculty Platform for our data scientists because we found that this process is often something that's actually pretty difficult to do with a number of different tools. You end up cobbling together a whole bunch of different libraries and packages, and sometimes it's just a pain in the ass, so you don't do it. That's why Faculty Platform exists, to bring together this workflow into a single environment that makes it really easy to do data science right. So the first new feature I'm really excited to talk about is experiments. You probably have heard that data science is a very iterative, experimental process. And over the course of a normal data science project, what often happens is that all of the things you test, the experiments you run, eventually they get lost and thrown away when the project is finished. And that's a real problem for reproducibility. How do you go back in time and see and evaluate the choices that were made, months or maybe even years prior, when you don't have a history of those experiments? And that is exactly why we built the experiments feature into Faculty Platform. So we are active contributors to the open source framework MLflow, which is basically cutting edge for experiment tracking and machine learning. And we integrated it into Faculty Platform to make it as easy and seamless as possible to record everything, from parameters to model runs to results to data sets to code chunks. And the benefit of that is that without any pain whatsoever, you're ensuring that your data science workflows are reproducible, and you can go back and you can explore those experiment runs visually. The second thing, which is hugely exciting and really unique to Faculty Platform, is how we treat models. So we released a feature called Model Registry, and the idea of Model Registry is that these decision engines you're building, these machine learning models that you're using to drive decisions in your business, should be treated as first-class citizens, not as I have often been guilty of treating them, as something which is called _Josh, _final, definitely final this time, v2, somewhere on a hard drive. They should be stored and version controlled and managed just as importantly as the minutes of your board meeting, and that is exactly what the Model Registry allows you to do. not only can you store and version control all the artifacts and all of the things that go into the model itself, you can also export and publish to external CI/CD production pipelines. Now, if that last sentence doesn't ring any bells for you, copy and paste it and send it to your engineering team because they are going to love it. This is a really, really cool feature that allows you to work with Faculty Platform as a development environment and seamlessly integrate with your production infrastructure. The final thing, which is, for me, unbelievably cool and very powerful, is the Knowledge Center. So think about a typical data science project over the course of which you're developing models, you're performing experiments, and you're generating new knowledge. You're learning things. Now, again, the problem is that often those learnings, that knowledge is lost at the end of the project. And the goal of the Knowledge Center is to provide a single repository of the things that we know, the knowledge that we've created. So this is fully taggable, fully searchable, fully discoverable, fully rankable. And the idea here is that anyone from your data science team or your wider organization can, at a single glance, go and look up the things that your team has discovered and found. So now your data science team is not just a model building factory, they're actually a knowledge building factory. And that is a hugely powerful place to be when we think about data science as science, because really science is all about growing our body of knowledge. So 3 really exciting features that map back really nicely to building a single unified place, which we think is the best place to make the data science workflow real. Okay, so that's it. I know that you came here to see the fellows, and you're probably already sick of me talking, but as a summary, the 3 new things that we are really excited and happy to announce today. Stuart Russell is our new special advisor on AI safety research. We're performing loads of AI safety research and publishing new papers all the time. And we're launching a suite of new features on Faculty Platform, which are going to change the game for your data science teams. Those are not the only new things at Faculty. We also have 16 new things at Faculty, which is our new fellows. So I want to say thank you very much for allowing me to steal the limelight for 10 minutes. Please give the fellows a hand and welcome on James, our first fellow.